we have been able to locate families of victims of this crash on the ground in Nigeria. So we're bringing you live now Bolatito Kareem, who lost members of our family, lost property, and they've been largely abandoned by the government in the issuing compensation and healing that has accompanied the crash. Bolatito, you are welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you. How are you today?
Good, good. And tell us, where are you exactly now?
Yes, sir. We are at the relief center.
How far or how close is the relief center to the site of this crash? How far?
It's not too far. To take like 20 minutes.
Okay, so give us an idea of what exactly happened. Where were you on that day when this crash happened?
Yes, I was sitting outside my house. So I just heard noise from very far distance. Started looking out what was hit. I just saw the plane coming. So when I saw it, it was so shocking. I couldn't do anything. I just started screaming. Before 5 minutes, I just saw the plane coming straight down towards my building. And I thought maybe pilot saw that the building was so small, there's nowhere for him to stay. He just entered straight into the next compound. So we all ran away with the kids in the house. I shouted at people. So we couldn't do much. After like 5 minutes while we were running, we just heard the explosion.
So there was an explosion 5 minutes after you were running. So the plane hit the buildings, and then 5 minutes later there's an explosion.
Yes. Yeah, there's exactly.
Did you go back to the plane after it exploded? What time did you go? Did you ever go back to the plane?
No, I ran. I had to leave the place because it was so shocking. I came back after 30 minutes.
So let's ask, how many people died on the ground officially that you're at least aware of?
Yes, I know in the area where I live, 4 dead, 7 injured from the upstairs. Like my house, we have about 7 injured in my house too. Then the town too, we have about 4 people injured there, but we can count only 4 dead.
4 dead. So there's been all this information that after the plane crashed, that the people inside the plane were asking for help. Did you ever hear them asking for help after the crash?
No, there was nothing like that. I only saw a man wearing a life jacket. I saw the man very close when I was looking at the plane. While I was shouting, I saw somebody and there was somebody just knocking. I can hear, or I can see from the man that he was wearing a life jacket. But I couldn't wait to see it because I knew what the risk it was for you standing and seeing a plane at this level of the ground. So we had to scream and run for it.
Let's get that correctly. You said you saw a man wearing a life jacket. Was that when the plane was approaching the building or after it had landed? After it had crashed?
No, it was closed. That was after the plane has hit. There was a mango tree opposite my house.
Yes.
The wings of the plane hit the mango tree, and I saw the mango tree coming down. So while I was up already, so I just saw somebody with a life jacket because I've been on her so many times. I know what a life jacket is. I saw the life jacket on the man. That was all I could see because the plane was just down already. The plane was at the ground level already. So we just saw him. I noticed that there was something, so I just started shouting. I don't know. So
after the plane landed, after the plane had crashed, this man wearing a life jacket was knocking on the window.
Yes.
Oh.
That was before the explosion.
Okay, that was before the explosion. So that was when the plane was after the plane hit the mango tree. And you saw this man knocking on the window with the life jacket on inside the plane. Apparently, it means that the plane, the pilot already probably, or the crew already informed people inside the plane that there was problem, and they had put them. All of them had been putting on life. Some of them had been putting on life jackets. Wow. So
exactly.
So, do you have an idea when rescue came? When did the fire service arrive? Do you have an idea? Do you have anybody in the area who knew whether if rescue came on time, maybe life would have been saved from this crash.
Now, what happened is, you know, I told you that immediately I saw the plane towards my house. I had to start running. And while I was running, what I noticed was I saw crowd, set of people coming and shouting, "This is where the plane landed, this is the plane landed." So I couldn't wait to ask questions. I just left. I went around to call for help, started calling people to come and see. Before I knew it, there was crowd all over. Sure you understand? So after, when I came back like that 30 minutes, I saw fire brigades coming while I was coming at the same time. I saw them coming. So it was just like I asked questions. Were there anybody here to rescue these people? They said it was only one road safety man that came and he started making calls. But I did not see any other person apart from that man.
That was. Do you remember how many minutes the road safety man arrived at the place? How many minutes after the crash?
No, I met the road safety man when I came back.
And how long was that after the crash?
I came back like 30 minutes after the crash. Okay.
When you came back to the scene of the crash, did you go near the crash? Did you go near the wreckage?
Well, I was around. I was there. I was there.
So at that point, 30 minutes after you came, there was no sign of life because the plane had exploded. That's what you're saying.
No, the fire was too much. There was no sign of life at all. No survivor.
So the fire was too much and the fire service was not there 30 minutes after?
Yes.
So at what point did you think that rescue came?
It came exactly like I told you when I was, so they came around 40 minutes because after I got there, they started putting up this fire tap and all things like 35 minutes.
Wow. So what about the residents? You know, how did you guys get to manage to start rescuing yourselves after this whole thing happened? How did you start rescuing? How did the resident get rescued?
Thank God it was on a Sunday.
Yes.
You know what happened? Thank God it was on a Sunday. I was outside with my brother's wife and the 4 kids. We were sitting just outside my house, and we have about 5 other tenants that live in the house with us. So they've all gone to church. We have only just 2 people in the house. So when they heard my voice, the way I was screaming, so they all came out to see what was happening. But thank God, it was just 5 minutes after the plane landed, we just heard the explosion. We were already on the run. But you know what it is for a big plane to land. You can know how big the sound is going to be.
Wow. So let's go back to how you have been treated since this crash happened. There's complaints that you have been abandoned to your own fate. The government did not care very much about you. And how are you guys coping in that neighborhood?
Well, for me, like the only thing I'm concerned about now is the welfare of my family and the people around me. On Monday, some people came. They said they came all the way from They came from Lasema, Lagos State Security. Lagos State Emergency Management. That they came. That they asked them to come and see what really happened and to know how to help the victim. So when they came, they offered that there was a relief center where they would take some things to. So we now said, okay, maybe 2 or 3 people should go and see how the place is. So they went. One from my house, the other person from the other building, and one other man from the 3rd house. Because there were just 5 houses around that was really affected. So when they went there, they were given toothbrush, baby size toothbrush, Dunlop slippers, and that was what they gave them. A lost soap to bath. So when they got there, they were like, this is all you have to offer? You brought us all the way from our home to an orphanage home. So they started complaining and they came back.
So have they done anything better for you as your condition improved since that time that they gave you toothbrush? And did they give you money? Did they give you any way to start rebuilding your lives back? Did the airline people try to help you?
No, we don't receive money from anyone. Actually, the airline management, one of the officials came yesterday. He said he wanted to talk to the victims, those affected by this crash. So we had a meeting with the man yesterday. So all he just brought was Indomie, their bed and water, and they give excuses that they are going to get back to us very soon, that they are working out some things by the time they through, they're going to get back to us again. So the same after they left, some officials came from Lagos State government too. They said they came to pick the victims to the new relief center where the government has just provided for them, so that they could sleep there, eat, and do other things. But we said we are not going to go because the first place they provide for us was an orphanage home. So they cannot just tell us to leave the environment and follow them to a place where we have no one to cater for us. Well, we thank God there's a man here, his name is Deji Ashiru Balogun. He has been helpful to us. Right now as I'm talking to you, with the victims, we are in his compound, we are here. He has been the one catering for us, giving us food and everything. Give us an idea of how many people are displaced on the ground. How many of you are in this Mr. Deji Ashiru's house compound? How many of you are there displaced? About 34 of us. Wow, okay. 34.
Oh, all right. So, have you gone back to the crash site? Do you go back every day? And what is the situation now on the crash site?
Yes, we just came here like an hour ago. We just left the crash site because we have always been there to see. We want to really know what happens to us. Sure, you know, when things like this happen, we need to be around. Because when they go and lie that we're on the crash site, we did not see any of the family, so we have no one to talk to. We're always around to see who is coming to talk to us and what they really have to offer us. So we just left for this place now. We just came here because we noticed we are tired and it's time. We think we are hungry. We need to eat. And like my mother she's an old woman. She cannot do anything for herself. So that's why I've been around her. I've been the only child around. But the crash site, really, there's nothing going on there. The place is. There's no house there anymore, so it's just.
Have they removed all the plane debris? Have they removed?
No big deal, no, nothing much there.
Have they removed all the plane debris? And has this thing improved? You know how they said there was some kind of radioactive odor in the place. Has that improved?
Yes. Yes, it has. It has.
Okay. Well, Bolatito, we want to thank you.
The area today.
Okay. We want to thank you very much for coming on our show, and the whole world is watching what the government is doing to help those of you who are on the ground. And we will keep sending our reporters to you to talk to you and find out developments with the state government, the federal government, and also the airline in making sure that you are adequately compensated and resettled all your houses. How many houses, by the way, are destroyed in this crash in that area, in your area?
Yes, the house where the plane crashed and the 3-story building was burnt and destroyed. But the 3 other houses around, there's a bungalow by the right and another bungalow by the left. Then another at the back of the bungalow. Those are the 5 houses.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on SaharaTV today in New York, and we will definitely get back in touch with you and keep an eye on your welfare from the point of view of holding the government responsible for doing what they should be doing, because there's no reason why you are abandoned to your fate while the other victims are being catered for by the airline and the government. So viewers, there has been Bolatito Kareem on behalf of the victims of flight 992 crash in Lagos. The crash happened last Sunday at about 3:43 p.m. Bolatito has told us that she saw a passenger wearing a life vest knocking on the window as this plane first hit a mango tree and eventually crashed. And she said she thinks the plane exploded 5 minutes after it crashed. We don't have any details yet until we see the initial investigation carried out by the government on the crash. Please do not go away. We have the roundtable coming up with Rudolph Okonkwo talking to a variety of people who want to weigh in on this topic, and we'll keep covering the crash on SaharaTV today.